From the book of Joshua, the fourth chapter, beginning at the first verse. When the entire nation had finished crossing over the Jordan, the Lord said to Joshua, "Select 12 men from the people, one from each tribe, and command them, take 12 stones here out of the middle of the Jordan, from the place where the priest's feet stood. Carry them over with you and lay them down in the place where you camp tonight." Then Joshua summoned the 12 men from the Israelites, whom he had appointed, one from each tribe. Joshua said to them, "Pass on before the ark of the Lord, your God, into the middle of the Jordan, and each of you take up a stone on his shoulder, one for each of the tribes of the Israelites, so that this may be a sign among you, when your children ask in time to come, 'What do these stones mean to you?' Then you shall tell them that the waters of the Jordan were cut off in front of the ark of the Lord. When it crossed over the Jordan, the waters of the Jordan were cut off. So these stones shall be to the Israelites a memorial forever." You know, these are people who had a history of being slaves in Egypt and wandering in the wilderness 40 years, fighting famine and thirst from time to time. A very difficult past. And when the story opens, they're on the eve of possessing, at long last, the promised land, that which God had promised to them. But you know, there's still struggles ahead of them. The land is not theirs just handed over. They've got to deal with other peoples and take possession of the land. And so the stones are a reminder of where they've been, what God has already seen them through. And as they face the future, during good times and bad times, they're commanded to take the stones and tell the stories to the children of how God had acted before and how God, they believed, would act in the future. I have a dearly departed friend, the Reverend Eldon Moley. And Eldon used to, as one of his hobbies, he had a machine where he could polish stones. He would polish the stones and he would give them to people. I think maybe he passed them out even on some Kairos prison ministry weekends for the purpose of those who received them to have them as a symbol and to remember the activity of God in their lives at the time that they received the stone. You know, it was about 3 years ago when I went into the hospital, had my colon removed, and nearly died. And Janet was on a trip and was able to go to the Vatican. And when she returned home, she handed me a cross that she bought at the Vatican. You know, every time I look at that cross, it reminds me of the struggle I went through and the time where I nearly died, and the fact that from that day to this, every day God has given me, although they've been days that have had their struggles, it's been a reminder of what God has delivered me from in the past and the hope that I have in the future. So as we are in this time together, I invite each person to find something as a symbol, like the stone. Look at it and remember the struggles we've endured. Look at it and be able to use it in the future to tell your children the struggles that we endured, the fact that God delivered us, and that whatever struggles we're in the future, we can count on God to deliver us then as well. Amen.